Welcome back, ladies, to my Red Hot Romance mini training video series. And today I'm going to talk to you about the key to instant attraction. So much fun creating instant attraction. Before I dive into that, I want to remind you to make sure you watch video number 1 is how to spot a player. You definitely need to be very wise on what these players are up to and the signs, and I cover that in video number 1. And in video number 2, I'm going to talk to you about how to flirt online, and that's essential in order to get onto a date. And so make sure you watch both of those videos. And also register for my Swipe Yourself into a Red Hot Romance in this training series that's coming up. It's really a webinar. And what I'm going to teach you is the 3 common mistakes that women are making online and that are sabotaging you and probably disenchanting you from feeling like that online dating works, because it really does work. And I'm going to give you not only highlight some of the areas that you're making some obvious mistakes, but give you some tools so that you can overcome that and start having a lot of success online. Because as you know, that's how I met my husband, right? And it's an incredible way to meet men. And so if you're not having success, it means you're not doing it right. And that's what I'm going to teach you in the webinar. And so let's just talk about some of the success. I want to share with you just a few stories about some of the ladies that have had a lot of success when I've coached them in online dating. And so there's small things that have a big impact. And one of my clients, she was being so serious and she was getting friend zoned. So she would start these great conversations, but then they would lead to, getting friend zoned, because that was where she was hiding. And so she would become their buddy and their pal, and she was sabotaging herself. And so what that looks like is filling all the gaps, right? Talking a lot, even over talking to him, providing him with a lot of great information, relating to him in a lot of ways that doesn't leave a lot of room for holding space and being in your feminine energy. And so he sees you as an equal perhaps, but he also sees you as one of the guys. You're so great and you're so cool and you're so fun, but he doesn't see that feminine energy that's all about holding space and being genuine and being just allowing him to take the lead, things like that. And so as soon as she learned this skill that I taught her, she quickly met the most incredible man, and they are talking about engagement ring. She's already looked for an engagement ring, and he's going to be proposing soon. And so it's just down to the wire with her. And it really is a red hot romance. I'm so excited. And she met him online. And you can too. And she'd been online for years, but she hadn't mastered the tools and tips that I'm teaching in the Swipe Yourself into a Red Hot Romance. So make sure you register for that. Now let's talk about the keys to instant attraction. Nothing feels better than when you click with the man, especially online, because it can go very quickly where you can have this instant attraction, then find yourself on a first, second, third date, and it leads to a relationship like that. I mean, relationships happen fast, and you need to be prepared for them. And the more skills that you have, the more prepared that you'll be when you meet the one. And so let's talk about the key to instant attraction. So the key is to create an emotional connection, and how you do that is through your communication. And so you really need to master your communication skills online. That's why I created these first 2 videos. And so in your communications, you need to come across as authentic and genuine, and even a little bit vulnerable. So not being afraid to admit things, share things that you either struggling with or that you need help with, and you're also being interested instead of interesting. And so what I mean by that is that you're interested in him and you're asking him questions, and that help him to open up to you and reveal more about who he is. So you're going to have to show up in a really non-judgmental way by being curious in what he's sharing and then asking him questions that create some kind of emotion. So for example, maybe he went on a trip and he's telling you about the trip, and he's getting really, in his text, he's telling you about where he spends his weekends or how he spends his free time. Then you want to follow that. You want to go into that conversation a lot deeper and ask him more questions. And then you could say, maybe he's a skier, maybe he's a fisherman, whatever he does. You could say, I have to be really honest with you. I've never I'm afraid of holding a dead fish, or you could just kind of explain that. Like, that really frightens me. I'm afraid, what if the fish bites me? Or, I mean, just something simple like that. Or, to be honest with you, the first time I tried to ski, it wasn't pretty. And I always wanted to learn how to do that better. And so I think it's really great that you're such an expert skier, something like that. So you want to make yourself vulnerable and be genuine. That's how you do it. It's just talking about everyday things that happen to everyday people that makes it relatable. And so it's just dropping the pretenses and dropping the mask and being real. And that's going to make a connection. So you're trying to create the emotion, okay? The emotion, and it happens quickly through text. So getting to know each other, sharing interests, and then asking some key questions, and then revealing something about yourself. Now, never anything too personal. And I just gave you two great examples. And so, another testimonial I want to share with you about a client that's just doing amazing. And so she had a problem and challenges with, she would get into relationships, but they wouldn't last past like 3 or 4 months. And that's really troubling her because she really wants to get married, settle down, have children. And so what happened was, as soon as she would start to get to know somebody, she would relax and then overshare. Oversharing or over talking is something that can really sabotage you. And so she was realizing that in her nervousness, she would start talking and oversharing, and she would push him away in that process. And so when she realized what she was doing, she was in an attempt to, get his approval and try to impress him because she really liked him. But what it did is pushed him away. Because really, as you know, you've heard me say probably 1,000 times, real approval can only come from within. So the fastest way to alienate a man is trying to get him to approve of us by asking questions on how I look. Do I look fat in this? Just any kind of questions about what that's going to put him in a position where he is now has to make you feel a certain way. That's your job, is to make yourself feel great, feel happy, so that you can show up like that. So as soon as she got closer to a guy, she started looking for him for validation, and then sabotage yourself. So once she learned what she was doing, she quickly met somebody, a really great guy, and they're going strong after like 7 months. Things are going well. She's really shifted out of that behavior that was sabotaging her. And you can do this too. And I'm going to be talking about this, one of the common things that women do to sabotage yourself, and the mistakes that you can be making online that are keeping you from the success that I know, and that all my clients that are really successful in online dating, that they're having so much success, I know can really help you. So make sure you register for the Swipe Yourself into a Red Hot Romance right here on this page. Make sure you watch video number 1, video number 2. Start making more of an emotional connection with men by using great communication skills, showing up authentically, and being genuine and sharing something vulnerable, so that you inspire and ignite that feeling of him wanting to provide, protect, or care for you by just offering a simple suggestion, right? When you show up and ask questions or are curious, men will provide for you in a way of suggestions or help, and that's how you're starting to build an instant attraction. Okay? All right, ladies, I will see you in the webinar, and just know, as always, I'm just sending you so much love. Bye.